Hello everybody, it's Shayna with Robinson Repurposing, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how we transformed our 2002 brick home from this older outdated version to a nice, much more updated modern look. Yeah, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's get right into it. Here's a quick visual of all the supplies that we were going to use, we thought we needed. Definitely that masonry brush. I wanted to point out that you're definitely going to need that, like 10 out of 10, definitely need that. Some little chip brushes for like trim work around like windows and stuff. That mixing paddle for your paint, you literally need that. Like we thought we were going to be able to get by with just like stirring it. No, you definitely need that. Definitely need masonry brushes. And if you're going to have people helping you, I would buy more than one. We thought we would have been able to roll it on, but it specifically says on the bucket not to do that, so don't do that. Okay, and then here I'm just showing that I was leaf blowing off the porch just to get it cleaned off, because our porch gets kind of like, you know, leaves and stuff on it. And then all you have to do otherwise for prep is to pressure wash. Okay, and I typed in on the screen that the mixing process was kind of confusing, and it's not really confusing. It's just that to get your to get it the way you want it, you got to kind of play around with it, like, you know, a little bit of the mixture, a little bit of water, and you'll like eventually figure out like the consistency that you want. So I have really no good tips on that. It's just a matter of getting it how you want it when you're mixing it up. And we found that our drill was like being really aggressive, so it was hard to mix this up. So Axel ended up getting one of our lids from our buckets and drilling a hole in the top and then putting that thing down in there, and that actually was really helpful to like keep the paint down in and really get it stirred up. So, which we ended up not needing that later though, because we ended up just mixing it up in smaller batches. When we first did this was our first time mixing it up. We mixed up a big batch, which is okay, but I would recommend just mixing it into small batches because it dries kind of quickly. Like it hardens up and like thickens up, and you got to keep stirring it like for a while. Like when you're up on a ladder, you know, you got to like kind of keep it mixed up. So anyway, here's Axel pressure washing, and we just got the surface clean. And then you definitely, like it says to keep the surface wet, so we did that, and I found that made it look better too. Okay, and then moment of truth, here we go, time to paint. So there's nothing to this. I mean, it's not challenging as far as, you know, it's not hard to paint. Everybody can paint. The only challenge we found on this was just getting it on how you like it, like the thickness or the thinness, you know, whatever you want. That's the challenge. But the longer you work with this, the more you get it figured out, and it's not hard. And then the other challenge that we encountered was that our house being tall was kind of challenging, because like I found out that I was like terrified to be up high on the ladder. So that was very scary and hard, because I had to count on Axel to do it, you know, like he was kind of over this project, to be honest. Like midway through he was like, okay Shayna, we're over it, you know. And we were kind of stressed out because at first it wasn't looking how we wanted, so, you know, obviously that's stressful. I cried at one point because it can get stressful, like if it's not looking how you want. But my advice on that is just to keep going, just to keep going. But also, you can pressure wash this off. It says on the bucket, after 3 hours, you can pressure wash the whole thing off. And you really can. I was pressure washing the concrete on the porch, and it comes right off the bottom. So it definitely will come off if you absolutely hate it. But yeah, that was the challenges. If you have a tall house, like ours was tall at the peaks, it's, like I said, it's very challenging. So just be aware of that. If you have a one-story house that's just level, you know, all one story, and you just have to be on a ladder, like a low ladder for it, you'll be fine. But we had to end up getting a 25-foot ladder and scaffolding. So like I said, that's the challenge for getting this done on our home. Also, our child was a little challenging during this process too, but anyway, it ended up being all good. Okay, so like right here, you know, we're kind of examining it, and we don't really know that we're loving it. We weren't painting in the grout at this point because we thought that's how we wanted it to be. But then later on, we decide that it looks better with the grout pretty much painted like solid through. And then I go back in later and distress, like I would call it distress, I guess, with the water hose on the brick instead of on the grout. Okay, and then this is the part of the house that I was talking about that was the most challenging and the most overwhelming, like for me, because this was our first place that we were starting. This was the front of the house, which I definitely recommend starting on the back of your house. But like the way the weather was this day, and the sunrise is in the front of our house. So anyway, we just decided we wanted to start on the front of our house this day because the back's like shaded and colder and darker. Anyway, so like I said, this was overwhelming because we got it on and we kind of got it on thin, and we didn't like it, to be honest. So we came out the next day and I basically went back over the whole thing with another coat, and then like I put it on more solid. And then when I went back through, so with distressing, you have to put it on and then you wait about 20 to 30 minutes, like let it set in a little bit in the most of the areas, and then you can take your water hose, like not on a super strong setting, like not like a jet setting, you know what I mean? Just like a more gentle setting, but like strong enough to push off paint off the surface, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, you got to take the water hose, I thought I could take the pressure washer to do this, but I couldn't. It just blasted it all off, and it didn't look pretty. So you have to take a water hose and just kind of select a few areas to distress. So basically for this project, my main advice is to do your research, get help, maybe other than just your husband. Me and Axel just did it ourselves, me and him, because, well, first of all, it's kind of like we weren't 100% sure if we were going to love this plan. It was kind of risky, all of that. Anyway, so yeah, definitely get help, do your research, and just make sure you have a lot of time. This took us probably 3 different weekends, 3 buckets of paint, and a lot of patience with each other, especially too. And then here's the basement side of our house, like I was talking about earlier. And on this side of the house, we just decided to leave it solid white because this side of our house gets a lot of weather, and we decided that it would probably just naturally distress on its own. And if it doesn't, like, we're okay with that. I think that side looks nice being solid white. So yeah, that is basically it for this video. I hope that was helpful, and if you're gonna do that, also ask me any questions. If you have any questions, reach out. I can try to help. Also, we plan on getting some black or like really dark brown shutters at some point, especially for the front windows on our house. And then we're also getting a new metal roof here soon because we need a new roof anyway. Like I said, our house is 2002 and it has an original roof from then. So anyway, we're hoping that, all that will just really tie in the whole look. And I'm really excited about the whole thing. And I really love how it ended up turning out. Also, just wanted to add, I'm so sorry that you can hear my child in the background. He's kind of yelling, screaming. He's been crying. I've been trying to finish this voiceover so I can get this video out. But yes, thank you all so much for watching.